care package ready for delivery.
This, in my opinion, is the best DLC map we've ever had in Call of Duty. It's so immersive, so cool, and very unique to any map we've ever had in Call of Duty. You could be Michael Myers here, which is insane, and it plays that good old classic Michael Myers theme music as well, which is pretty surprising. It just adds more immersion to this map here, which already it's a pretty spooky, scary map with lots of Easter eggs, and on top of that you have Michael Myers himself with the theme song playing as well. It's a pretty amazing map in my opinion, and as a whole guys, the whole entire DLC content, the whole entire DLC season in Call of Duty Ghosts was the best we've ever had in any Call of Duty in my opinion. The DLC from DLC 1 to DLC 4 was straight up phenomenal. The Call of Duty Ghosts DLC had so much variety, locations and settings that we've never seen in any Call of Duty game up until this point, and still to this date there's no maps that are similar to this in any COD. Like, there's no map that is just like Fog really, that has Michael Myers as a kill streak, that has this whole entire spooky scary atmosphere with amazing Easter eggs. There's no map like Mutiny here, this pirate ship map, which is so cool. It's very immersive. Same with Pharaoh here, which is an Egyptian map, which is awesome. It's very unique as well, and you know, I can go on and on about more maps in Ghosts that had just so unique locations that made it very fun. And on top of that, you had the map-based kill streaks, which back in Call of Duty Ghosts there were field orders, which when you picked them up and you completed the challenge, you get a care package, and you could possibly get that map-based kill streak behind the care package, which in Fog's case here, you could be Michael Myers, which is so cool and very unique. Same with the map Ruins. You could be the Predator, literally the Predator. You could be invisible, shoot rockets, and just slash people with your blade on Ruins with the Predator. That's sick. Same with the Favela. You could also get the AC-130 from the care package if you get lucky, the classic good old iconic AC-130 here. These map-based kill streaks made the map even more fun, and it matched the theme, most importantly to make it immersive. Like having an MW2 remake have an MW2 kill streak, that was perfect. Having one of the most iconic horror villains, Michael Myers, on a horror scary map, that was perfect. You know, having ghost pirates here on a pirate ship map, Mutiny, that was also perfect too. See, Call of Duty Ghost maps were just so unique, like I keep on saying, and that's the best part. They were different to each other. No DLC map felt the same. And with the DLC maps now that we have with Call of Duty, like the Black Ops 3 ones, Infinite Warfare ones, and the World War II ones so far that we've seen, they don't feel like a whole entire new unique experience compared to the other maps, you know, and those previous Call of Duty games, you know. Having like Spire or Rise and Black Ops 3, those DLC maps compared to the base maps, they don't feel that different, you know. With Call of Duty Ghosts, comparing like say Tremor or Strike Zone to Pharaoh, Mutiny, and Fog, they're completely different and provide a brand new experience that's really immersive, if you catch my drift here. These Call of Duty Ghost maps were so different than the base maps, and that made it so much better in my opinion, because you look forward to a new DLC every single time because of that. So I'm going to go over every single DLC here and just briefly explain each map that came with a DLC, just so you know what I'm talking about and why I think these maps are so unique in my opinion. So DLC 1, Onslaught, came with Fog, Bayview, Containment, and Ignition, which is the Scrapyard remake from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and also came with the Maverick Assault Rifle. As for Extinction, I won't be mentioning that here because I didn't play any of the Extinction DLC maps at all really. So as for Fog, you guys know my thoughts on it. It's the best DLC map out of any Call of Duty game. I surprisingly found a match on it earlier today, which is insane. Having Michael Myers as a map-based kill streak makes the experience just so immersive and scary. scary. This map is well designed, having so much detail to the map. Even outside the map is so scary with these trees here. It looks like I'm gonna find Slender Man, dude. And also having like the ambient background noise with wolves howling and crickets chirping and so much more stuff in the background that make the map even more scarier too. You could definitely tell Infinity Ward put so much time to make this map feel immersive and that you're actually there, and the fact that this looks like and feels like it's straight up out of a horror movie for sure. So overall, Fog is the best DLC map of all time in my opinion. It's just a smart map, a very good map, and it's just such a very unique one compared to any map in Call of Duty. Next up, we have Bayview. Very interesting map here. Has some pretty cool themes to it, very cool stuff. It actually feels like I'm there. It looks like a nice place to actually go and see all the different types of, animals like the fish here. The AI fish, you can't forget about that here in Call of Duty Ghosts. Overall, it's a pretty beautiful map. Well designed, and it's very fast paced too, which that's what most of the DLC maps here in Call of Duty Ghosts provide. Fast paced action, unlike Stonehaven and Siege and other base maps in Call of Duty Ghosts. Containment is kind of the biggest map I believe out of this whole entire pack. It's an alright one. Back in the day, I didn't really like playing on it because you had Fog and you had Bayview, which were just so much better than Containment, but I didn't mind it as much. The cool little map based kill streak in the middle here where you destroy this little tanker truck here with the nuke in it, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't mind this map, but I say it's alright. If I would choose the worst one out of the DLC pack, it's probably this one here, honestly, but it's still an okay mediocre map. Going to Ignition, the Modern Warfare 2 Scrapyard remake. This map is pretty faithful to the original, however, there are some like new sections to it where there's like an underground area which you go in, which was not in the original. I mean, I didn't mind it too much. It was kind of unnecessary, but besides that, the map isn't actually fully there when you load into it. I believe leave like a minute into the map, the whole entire map forms as this whole rocket here in the sky blows up, and pieces of the map that were in the original map fall down, and it actually forms the whole entire Scrapyard map, which that's pretty unique as well. That's definitely a pretty cool like sight to see, seeing the whole entire rocket up there get exploded and all coming down to form the rest of the map. That's pretty dope, I say. Overall, this map was pretty awesome. Next up, DLC 2 Devastation. It came with Behemoth, Ruins on Earth, the MW3 Dome remake, Collision, and the Ripper DLC weapon. I say this was the weakest and probably the worst DLC pack out of all the rest of the DLC packs. Like comparing these maps to other maps and the other packs, I say they were definitely the weakest part. They were definitely pretty unique, but I just didn't find like a very fun factor to them. Like say with Behemoth here, this map, the location, yeah, it's pretty unique. It's on this huge massive excavation saw thing, which is pretty awesome. We've never had a map like this ever in COD, I think. It has lots of long lines of sight for snipers and rifles. Overall, it's a map that has lots of variety when it comes down to your playstyle. However, I just never liked it. But what kind of makes up for it is the map-based kill streak, which is this chopper gunner basically from Black Ops 1. It's pretty insane. I really don't remember using this back in the day because the maps here in this DLC pack weren't that memorable, but just going up against these bots here with this chopper gunner was pretty fun. It would seem to be so overpowered online. Going to Ruins here, this map of course had the Predator map-based kill streak, which was insane, and that definitely made this map a whole lot fun. The overall scenery, the location of this map is very interesting. However, I think the overall gameplay isn't too good because lots of gunfights were out of your field of view, because sometimes enemies would be shooting you from above and even below you, and you wouldn't realize that because your field of view isn't limited to that high enough or that low enough. Your field of view is looking straight forward to you, and usually you're used to seeing enemies right in front of you and not above you or below you, and that's how it felt like most of the time here on Ruins. But I see the Predator, definitely being the Predator, made up for this map for sure. Going on to the remake of Dome from MW3 Unearthed, I say this remake was pretty good, but the only problem with it that I have, I guess personally, is the way it looks. The way the sun hits the map, the way the lighting is, it does not look appealing to me at all whatsoever. See, that plays a big part of how the map is. it's whether or not the map looks good or not. And that kind of went the same for me with the Standoff remake in Black Ops 3. That map was way too orange, and it didn't look like Standoff at all, or even feel like it because of the colors, and that was so off-putting for me. Same with here, the Dome remake in Ghosts. The sun, the lighting, the way it hits the map, it's just a weird looking map. I get the overall theme of it, you know, but it just doesn't cut it for me. The map just doesn't look appealing to look at, in my opinion. But the map-based kill streak, the aliens here from Extinction, these Seekers, they're pretty cool, definitely. And also the Venom X, the secret Easter egg weapon you get too on this map, a weapon that's from Extinction as well. That's pretty cool. Overall, this map could have been better if it just looked, you know, nice. And I guess that comes down to personal preference. But going to the last DLC map, Collision. This was an okay one as well. It just didn't really cut it for me. The theme was, I think, a generic one, having like a crashed ship and then calling the map Collision, and pretty generic, you know. And I think that's why I didn't really like it, because it didn't feel that unique at all. I feel like that normal Call of Duty map. So yeah, nothing much to say here. Going to DLC 3, which is an amazing DLC pack. This DLC was called Invasion. You had Pharaoh, you had Departed, Mutiny, and Favela from Modern Warfare 2. First off, let's talk about Pharaoh, which is set in Egypt, which of course we've never seen that location ever in any Call of Duty game. And that's one location that I wish we see from Treyarch's Zombies with Black Ops 4, having Egyptian zombies and an actual pyramid would be so sick. But here in multiplayer, it does work out. First off, you have this map-based kill streak, which is epic and so much fun. It's basically specialist bonus from Modern Warfare 3, which, if you remember, if you get specialist bonus back in MW3, you get every single perk in the game, which is insane. Same here with this map kill streak called the Blessing of Anubis. You get every perk in the game, and there's like, I believe, 32 or 30 perks in the whole entire game here. So you get all those perks: Deadeye, Quickdraw, Stalker, Hardline, Sleight of Hand, and much more with this here. And you can go for chem strikes, and I believe it lasts like 3 deaths or even 5 deaths, because if you die a couple times you'll still have it, which it gives you a few chances to, you know, go ham with it. So that's definitely the coolest part about this map. And also, this is a pretty cool little secret area that you can get in here, you know, just like the movies, having this secret door open and there being like some treasure underground. However, if you stay there way too long, the door will actually shut and it'll kill you. Finding this treasure, aka this care package garbage satcom, will always mean there's going to be like a booby trap right there, and of course there is this fire trap that kills you, which is pretty cool. Overall, one of the most unique maps ever in any Call of Duty game. Going to Departed, definitely a very sick map here. It has a very unique setting. It's vibrant, it's bright, it's full of life, and that's the best part about it. This map is celebrating a Dia de los Muertos, which I probably definitely butchered that name, but that translates to Day of the Dead in Spanish, which this is a Mexican holiday. I believe it's essentially Halloween, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not like really into that culture, really know about it, but I always hear about it every single year, that name. You know, that Dia de los Muertos, I always hear about that every single year around Halloween, and this map has lots of that theme going on with it, with skeletons, and you have this death mariachi kill streak, which you can be here, and you have these dual magnums, and you have like lots of health, just like a juggernaut here. And you can also have like another death mariachi as like another teammate if you kill enough enemies here as well, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty fun map. It's scattered with that Mexican holiday. It feels like you're actually in Mexico, and that's a great thing, because that's how a map should feel like. It should feel like you're actually there in that setting, and they did a great job with that here with Departed. Going to Mutiny, you're set like basically on a pirate ship, and you have this pirate ship that's in the middle as well. It's pretty sick. This map has lots of Easter eggs, and the amount of detail in this map is also pretty insane. It feels like you're in a pirate movie. It feels like you're in Pirates of the Caribbean. It seriously does. Also, this little Easter egg that I found is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I knew about it years ago, but I forgot about it until now. You see the Call of Duty Ghost mask in this mask shop, which is pretty sick. And the 2 map-based kill streaks involve essentially a pirate ship drive-by. You have a pirate ship that sails near the whole entire map and it shoots out cannons, which is pretty cool. Also, you have these two ghostly pirates that you can kill enemies as well, but they're not too good because this one just died immediately. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Overall, the experience on this map, it feels kind of spooky because it's like you don't know what you're getting into. It's a pirate ship for crying out loud, so you don't know what the heck is gonna go on at all with these pirates. So pretty sick how the colors and everything match with the theme of the map, and I just love nighttime maps in general with Call of Duty. I wish we could have more nighttime themed maps. Next up, the last map in this DLC pack is Favela. They brought it back here, and it's a fantastic experience overall, especially adding in the good old AC-130 as the map-based kill streak just makes it so cool. I'm gonna go ahead and play a little clip here of what the AC-130 sounds like. It doesn't have the same old audio files, which that would have made the AC-130 experience much better. However, it definitely still is pretty cool, and it's definitely pretty good from what I can remember. Even though it's against bots, it could still do some damage, and I would assume in online against real people would be pretty sick as well. It's pretty cool how it has that same iconic kill feed icon right there, which is pretty awesome as well. Overall, the whole entire experience of Favela feels like Modern Warfare 2. I just wish that they would have brought it back in MW3 as well. But here in Call of Duty Ghosts, sadly that no one played it, because, by DLC 3, half the player base of Ghosts was gone, which is sad, These maps were just so good, but enough talk about that, guys. I'm rambling here. The Favela remake was phenomenal. I say it's top 3 best map remakes in any Call of Duty game for sure, because they stayed so faithful to this remake, which is the best part, and that's what they should do with map remakes in Call of Duty. Finally, on the last DLC pack here, which is called Nemesis, it came with Sub-Zero, Gold Rush, Dynasty, and the Shipment remake from COD 4, which is called Showtime here in this game, which honestly is, in my opinion at least, the worst map remake ever in Call of Duty, because they did not stay true to the original map in COD 4. The point of Shipment is to have fun, to of course get those very bad spawns, to get kills constantly, to die constantly. However, with Showtime, they actually added in different sections to the map. I think they added in 4 different types of new areas to the map, which extended the map and made it bigger, which the whole point of Shipment is to have it small and not like medium-sized or large-sized map. It's that small, chaotic, super fast-paced map in any Call of Duty game, but they just messed it up here in this game, and they pretty much made it into a death arena here, which from a care package, you have chances where you can get actually a chem strike out of there, which you can kill the whole entire team with that, and you can get sentry gun, which can kill the whole entire team as well, and you can get like these care packages that drop down as well, which is, it's pretty fun how, yes, there's this, pretty cool map kill streak. However, it just doesn't feel like Shipment now. It's completely ruined in my opinion, I get the whole entire innovation behind it, but I just don't like it personally. As for the other DLC maps, I can't say much about them because I seriously don't remember playing them at all back in its prime. I have no experience on Sub-Zero. All I know from going back to it in a private match is that there is this map kill streak called the Beast, which just comes in, it causes a blizzard here, and it just kills and obliterates the entire team, which is pretty cool. As for Gold Rush, this is a pretty unique map. It has a pretty interesting location here. It has the Wolf Pack as a map-based kill streak, which isn't too good. As for Dynasty, oh boy, this is one of the most beautiful maps I see in Call of Duty. So realistic and just so nice to look at. And guess what? The map-based kill streak is the Harriers from Modern Warfare 2. Take a look and take a listen of these Harriers. they use the same exact audio files from like the jet engine up in the air and the minigun firing down at enemies, which is pretty cool and very dope and nostalgic. Like with the AC-130, like I was saying earlier, it would have been pretty awesome if they had the same sounds, because they did it with the Harriers here with the map-based kill streak, so why not do that with the AC-130? But enough said about that, guys. Dynasty here, it's a pretty interesting map. I don't remember playing it at all, but honestly, it looks like it would be lots of fun. So, guys, that's the whole entire video here, talking about the Ghost DLC maps and why I think this whole entire DLC season that Ghosts brought to us was the best out of any Call of Duty game to its point. I think to this date, going to the future Call of Duty games, I say no DLC season will ever beat Call of Duty Ghosts. See, the reason why these DLC packs are the best out of any Call of Duty game is simply because Infinity Ward took chances. They took risks to create unique and different DLC maps here that have variety within the locations and just has that fun and wackiness, you know? Having Fog with Michael Myers, you wouldn't expect that to be in Call of Duty. Having the Predator on Ruin, you would not expect that to be in Call of Duty. And just so much more, guys. That's why the DLC maps in Ghosts were successful in my eyes, at least, and that's why I personally think that no other developer, no other DLC pack in the future going on forward will ever beat the DLC maps here in Call of Duty Ghosts, because they took the risks. They definitely succeeded with that, and that's why the DLC maps here in Ghosts will stay forever the best DLC maps out of any COD. And I definitely hope that I showed you guys all everything and explained myself well on why these DLC maps are unique to any map, in any Call of Duty game for sure. There's not a DLC map like Fog ever, and I can keep on going on and on and on about this. And I have a quick little theory here. What if these DLC maps were the base maps? Do you think the game would have been better? Just think about that. Let that sink into your mind. Having Fog, Bayview, Favela, Mutiny, Pharaoh. What if all those DLC maps were base maps? Do you think the game would have been received differently? I say yes, because maps are a huge part of making a Call of Duty game, and these DLC maps were phenomenal. And I say Ghost would have been probably the top 3 best CODs of all time if these DLC maps were the base maps, for sure, definitely. So guys, that's the whole entire video. Let me know your thoughts down below about this whole entire subject, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.